Welcome back to another episode, and as you can see, we're kind of in the middle of an area. Nothing really planned in for this area, but I was just exploring, so just to get context, there's the villager area, which means the base is over that way. I saw a ruined portal, but I've seen this in the distance, and then when exploring, I've come across something else. It actually has a pillager outpost. One of the good things about Pillager Outposts is, they spawn these guys, captains. So if you do end up, excuse me, sir, dodging, if you do kill a captain, they drop the banner, and now the mechanics have changed, where, as you can see, I've been doing this a little bit and one hasn't spawned. But before, you used to just kill a captain and you used to get the ill omen effect. Now it's ominous bottles, and it gives you the reds. So, oh, there we go. Red power 5. So top level red, I think it is. And we will go over. We can go over here. We could set the red off, because even with a red power 5, I've got full netherite gear. I've got a decent sword. I've got golems everywhere, so they can be like lookouts. They take out quite a few waves. The only times that they don't is if it'll spawn over here, and then I have to kind of do a little bit myself. But this is a good way to get some totems, a good way to get some more emeralds, and even a decent way to get some arrows and some saddles for if I ever need them. So, let's get a raid going. Let's drink our potion. We'll get the omen effect. I think if we just wander down here, we trigger a raid. So the bear should come up anytime. I don't know how I find the active effects thing on here, but I can swap chest plate. Go to my sword and my bow if needed. In fact, you know what? I'm going to move my bow. Infinity bow I run, and it's only got power and punch. It doesn't even have knockback or flame or anything like that on it, so it's a pretty low down arrow. But first wave of a raid and see where they come from. I think that's one of the things. I'll always fly back up to here, so I can move these to this as well. Very prepared. Sounds like they're coming over this way. I mean, it sounded like it. I can't see them. Has he seen them? No. But as you can see, I've put a line across there so that they can't get in. I get the feeling they're down here. They sounded like they were there. I hear them. That means they're not down there. Are they up there? They're not up here. So I'm in a copy of the world, because I just could not find where these guys were. The first wave, couldn't find them. So in a spectator mode, and I came in here, couldn't see anything. This is all, it means that it's all full. Looked up, looked around like there was a little hole there, but I know they couldn't spawn in there. They're too far away to spawn in that bit there, or that bit. I looked around here, but I thought that's still a little bit too far away. And then they're here. They're in one little pocket. So there's one little pocket that's not lit up, which goes to the other side of this. So, it's water in there. I get the feeling if I knock out a couple of these blocks, they might just drown, potentially. It'll push them into the corner. I don't think it'll drown them, but it's one way we can stop the spawn in there as well, if we get water fully in there. So I'm going to go on to the main version of the realm now, and we're going to take that out and actually start on this raid. So I'm on the proper version of the world now. So yeah, was just hearing them. Could not figure out where they were. can just glide down here. I will put my netherite on, and it is through here. Yeah, I know. But we can just start taking these out. And I doubt we'll get another spawn in here now. But yeah, just do that. We'll get a few raids done. We'll get a few waves done, so we can get some tokens. Trinkets, or what they call totems. That's the word. We'll get some totems. I mean, there we go. And they come from sometimes the tunnel. But this guy should pick them up. And, you know, a bit of a delayed response on him. But there, I mean, he's took him out. But we can just pick up some loot. We can go up to this bit. Look down where these other ones are. Both down here. So we can easily take them out. But I'll come back to you when we're in the next couple of levels of the raid. Oh, there's the guy that we want. So you, sir, excuse me. There we go. He's down before he could summon any Vex. Oh, really? Why? What? There is a raid going on. Stop. Stop it. I might try and get this one over. Right, you over here. Right, take the aggro off him. Take the aggro off him. There we go. See if we're going to kill it. There we go. That killed it. Take the aggro off it. And we can go and take these guys, take the loot and everything. That is so loud in my ears. I thought I'd turn the... And then I miss a shot. Oh, there he is. Kill him. And that was the end of the raid as well, which is good. Last kill on Illusioner. So, you know, in this raid, we got 5 totems. We got, you know, some saddles there. We got a few crossbows that we can always just put to one side if we ever need them for something. So always a good thing, these ones. You know, we've got a stack and a bit of emeralds as well. Another decent way to get emeralds. And the bonus with those is we get better prices. Hero of the Village gets you better prices while the effect's active. So, you know, if I do need to trade... At the moment, for, you know, like golden carrots, the golden carrot trade is at 1 while this is active. So, you know, we can gain some more emeralds this way as well. You know, like the iron trade's probably at 2, something like that now. So we can deal with things like that. I also had a casualty. So when I was testing the raids out, one somehow, so they spawned in the back corner. One somehow fell through a ceiling and landed in this one. With this guy, with the Riptide guy. Now, all I ever did was trade with him to get the Riptide trade. I don't think I'm going to need Riptide on that many tridents, but, you know, I think it's nice if we do replace him. So, you know, we might replace him. We'll get a Riptide guy in, but what we might do, we might actually get a zombie villager, bring a zombie villager in, and then we'll convert him, and then, you know, hopefully some of these guys down here will get some better prices. You know, if the multiple of the multiples, so we can get some, hopefully get some better prices. Because then, you know, if we can get the book trade, like the bookshelf trade to 1, and then the books to 1, you get your infinite emeralds that way as well. But I think what I'm going to do is I've already got these set out already. I've got a couple of chests down here. So I've got one for totems, one for saddles. I'm going to spend some time. We're going to drink some milk, get rid of the effects, get ill omen, create another raid, and we're just going to get some stock so we don't need to worry about dying for a little while. Oh, we've had a little bit of time between clips, and we're in a good position. I've removed the totem because I'm not needing it right now. And it makes this little bit look a little bit better. Otherwise, it would just be one missing. So yeah, we've done quite a few raids. We have done quite a few to get this many totems. So let me get that equipped back up. But yeah, it looks better with a chest full of totems than just one missing. And we've got quite a few saddles as well. I spent most of the time having these guys kill everything. So, you know, it was more of a passive farm than anything. So, you know, you can see the remnants of one of the last ones there. But yeah, we just spent a lot of time just killing things. And it's made me think, these things, the totems, they're quite magical in a sense. What other things have we got that are magic? It made me think, you know, when we were building the market area up, we've made a lot of potions. We can get potions with different effects. Again, potions are basically magic. So with them, totems, you know, we could make maybe like a mystical thing. You know, we'll get some potion area in. And then, not only that, we do have something in the starter house. You know, if we're cutting through here, got an enchanting table. Now, if enchanting is not magic at the same time, we've got 3 things here that we could potentially put into a nice little area. So if you're talking about magic and everything, you know, we want the stereotypical wizard's tower. So those are the kind of idea that I had, like I said in the last episode at the end. I do have a bit of an idea for this episode. Yeah, I mean, we've got no dwarves living underground who've built us a nice little area. Why not on one side of the island as well? We have some a wizard. So I've got a nice little, you know, like a lot of other ones. We've got a circle planned out for the first bit. So it's 3, then 2, then 1 on all sides. So it gives a nice little circle area. I think we're going to go about 3 tall with this one. I need to start figuring out a palette as well for this. So maybe we need to go into a bit of a testing world to get some palettes together. Alright, so let's have a look. So we're back in the testing world where, you know, like we did the startings of a few different things. I think, you know, let's look at a palette. So, I mean, white wool's always a good shout. What else can we put in there? I mean, there's smooth quartz. What was that? Give us... Maybe the white wool needs to be on top.
2 hours later.
How's that look from behind, like from back? Yeah, that's actually looking good. Like we do a little bit of that. That's the nice palette, I think. Looking at that, so we go diorite, then we have white concrete, smooth quartz, and then white wool, which is that one. Yeah, I mean, we've got plenty diorite, concrete. I've got plenty of things to make it with. I've got I've got a bone meal farm so that I can make white concrete up. So that's just as easy. Quartz, I've got traders, and I do have quite a bit of quartz in my chest at the minute. White wool, I've got the sheep farm. Seems like a pretty resource easy build for now. So, you know, let's get the first bits of the groundwork in. Right, so let's replace the bottom layer. Definitely all the bottom layer is going to be diorite. I'm definitely set on that. It just depends how much further up I want to go with everything. So let's just get this diorite in. I mean, it's not often that I build with diorite. That's not right either. Not right with the diorite. I should have just followed what was on the groundwork here. There we go. That's all in. I mean, I'm going to have to figure out where the door's going to go. I mean, potentially the door might fit nicely here. But I want to get the tower in first and then think of extra bits. So let's get a couple of layers of this tower put in. That's good, actually. One ring's 32 by the looks of it. Unless I didn't pick up that one from before. Well, I must have done. Yeah, oh well. But now, I think this third level, 3's plenty for the beginning bit. It gives it a nice firm foundation, and then it makes you look up as well, I think, if we are. Makes you look up. When you start looking at it, if the gradient goes lighter to the top, you're not going to pay attention to the bottom. I think this next layer is where we're going to start going in, and I think this is where we're going to start to bring the gradient in as well. I think, in fact, you know what? We'll get this first layer of... We'll get the first layer in, and then after that is when we'll start to look at bringing things with the gradient, because this is going to go up about 3 or 4. So I think these first ones won't be too bad. I think we'll put something around the edge anyway here as a bit of a breaker up of sight lines again. One thing about this series, it has changed how I build. I did used to just build boxes. At least now I'm doing things with details in. There's more shapes. I think that's one thing that it's lent me to, is I used to see these big buildings that people done and think I'd never be able to do something like that. I think now I'm looking at things, I'm like, well, this is this shape with this shape and this shape. And I think that's all like drawing is sometimes. It's just realizing that it's just shapes put together. Like a face is just, you know, like a circle at the top and then things just underneath, like for adding details. And I think that's it. You just need to get that first bit of looking in and the first bit of foundations of shapes, and then you work from there. So let's just put the door here. We'll have, actually, yeah, the door might be nicely set there. And we'll probably have something along this one where it goes in anywhere. So in fact, we might go up about 5 on this one. But I'm going to need some scaffolding or something. But we're going to put some things up here. So we're going to start working on the gradient now. Well, it's progress time. We're not fully done with it, but we are getting there. And as you can see, when I turn this corner... In fact, let's use the proper pathway that I have in so we can get a better idea. There we go. Now, it is going to be a tall tower. Now, I think it might be a little bit too tall. I've not measured it up yet because this is where we're up to now. It's definitely going to be taller than that. It's going to be taller than the ship. So it is going to be the tallest thing in the world that we have so far. Wandering traders have mysteriously disappeared. What a time for that sound effect. Well, this is where I'm up to with it right now. So you can see it's second shape. Now, I couldn't get the circle to circle at the beginning. I've had to go wider at the bottom, take out a couple more levels here so it can fit in. And then it goes out and then in. So you can see at the sides here, it does thin in. And then it's going to thicken back out. I think it goes to the same size as this. Now, I don't know if I want to do a big circle again around the outside or if I want to do something different on the inside. Because part of me maybe thinks I want to do like a cross in and out and then have like little jut outs. So I might even bring these that I have here out a little bit more. You know, maybe like 2 or 3 blocks more, and then it's like a little block entryway, and then I do just round off the edges like these ones. But this is where we're at so far. In fact, let me go up so you can get a better idea. Let's... Oh, like a glove. I have not been doing that. I have not managed to do that for a while. I've been falling off this when I've been floating around. But what we're going to do as well is these the middle bits, so they're a bit like this kind of one, and maybe the ones that I have on this one. It's going to go up a little bit higher, so that in between it's going to go in and down, and there'll be like a kind of center point in here for it to mix up. So it's going to be a square roof, like it's going to be that going across, this going across, and then they meet in the middle, which is why it's making me think I might bring these out a little bit further, so that you get that nicer look across from it. And at the same time, these red blocks, so these mangrove planks, are just a placeholder. What I'm possibly going to do is I'm possibly going to get some red terracotta or red concrete, whichever blends in a little bit more nicely with it. And we're going to get some of the crimson wood as well. And we're going to swap out blocks here and there. You know, we've got quite a bit if we go down and look. There's quite a bit. So we've got like one up there, one there. These supports that go up, and then eventually the roof. So it's going to be very red, this building. Very white and red. You can see where we've got the transitions in as well on there. So it's going to go lighter as it goes up, and as you can see, we do have some white wool. So it's going to be very red and white, this tower. I think it just makes it a little bit more mystical doing that. And then, you know, like we're gonna, so what I think I might do now is that's a nice support there. I can even put one more stair going out one, and then it just makes it that little bit more further out. But I think now we might just finish off the base structure and then figure out, you know, maybe bring these, like I said, 2 more out, and then re-put the roofs on it. And then maybe put the top lining of the roof in so that we know where we're going to, and then we can get an idea of full height of this. And then we can work it from there and start detailing, because I think that's one of the good things. As much as this is a flat tower right now, and it will be, it's the same all the way around, it does need those little bits of details like we do on other things. And like we've done on other buildings where we get some like stairs, swap some of these out for stairs so it looks like a little bit missing, and it just makes it a little bit more like this one is, and like a couple of these other buildings have been. You know, it just makes it a little bit more detailed, and then we can add in actual details after that. So, you know, like the first ones are structure details, and then the other ones are finishing off details. But I think let's get these extended out a little bit more, and then the roof in, and then we'll see where we go from there. So I think we're in a good position. We've got some nice structure, like the beginning structure in, and I've got it to this. So as you can see, you know, we've got it, the roof goes in. Now all these roof parts go into a point. We've got all the supports in use. It looks like it's weighted in. I'm not sure how I feel about these like middle bits. If we go up and have a look. So like the bits that come out, I think maybe it's a little bit too much of a cross. But then again, I think that adds... I think it takes away and it adds at the same time. And when you get into the top, there's a couple of bits that are on the inside, so we've got no details in at the minute. But as you can see, 4 equal sets of this, so you can see we've got a nice thing. So we can potentially put... maybe where this level is, we can put the floor fully in, and then little bits to each one. So we've got a nice space where we could do like enchanting on one. We've got one place where we could do potions. We've got, you know, we could do the same on the other side, you know, storage for totems. And then like some potion storage or something like that. We can get a lot of potions built up. Or do anything that I think is like magical, I think is what the plan is here. What I want to do is, one thing that I've not actually done yet is actually take a look from like over this side to see how is it obnoxiously big in a way, to see if it's, you know, like if it is this now too big for the area. Like I said, I don't want to go too big when I'm doing things. I mean, it is tall. It is tall. It's definitely taking over the area. But I think that's the issue when you have something like this. Well, that is a tall, overall a tall build. You do run that risk like when you're in close. I mean, I don't think when you get closer, it gets smaller. I think that's one of the weird things about this one. Like up close, it's not that big, but far away, it does feel like it is a bit of a bigger build in comparison to the area. So what we might do, we might have to put some extra things around to make it look smaller. Maybe some trees or something, maybe do massive trees way bigger than that, or something of the like in the surrounding areas so that it's kind of just on its own. I think if I was to separate it, maybe take a few layers of this back and then have it in there. It might then make it look smaller if I put things around. I've seen a few things that can work as decorations. I think the first thing I want to do is get some of the crimson wood and start replacing some of these stairs with the crimson wood, and then get some red terracotta and replace them, and start replacing some of these concretes for stairs, some of these quartz for stairs, so that we get some definitions in, like I've just mentioned as well, so that you get this kind of look in it, where you get a bit of a hole in them. It's something that just ages the thing. But yeah, I'm going to start getting them in. Some weathering has been done on the tower now, and it looks like this. So as you can see, like along the roof, we have some, like we've got some red terracotta, we've got some crimson wood, and then we've got the mangrove. The crimson to me looks more purple than crimson. Crimson to me is a red colour. But anyway, as you look around, you can see we've got some little bits here. So we've got some glow lichen around this area, mainly because the white concrete doesn't have a step version. And if I was just to put a slab in, you'd see behind, so I didn't want that. So I've done this, so it just makes a little space between there and there. The little space between these and the little space between them, I think it gets away with it. It might not do. I might have to put some in the future. I'm not sure. But then we've got stairs everywhere. The only disappointing thing is I couldn't put stairs in like these ones. Anywhere where one comes out, I couldn't put it in because I think I've got a couple up here where, as you can see, like where this one is, if you move, you can see behind and you can see inside. So again, that's another reason why I didn't want slabs on there, because you could just see in little bits. But I'm going to be putting a floor in that level on that one, so it's not as bad. Like if you can see, if we go in, you can see where the floors are going to be. So we're going to have one floor straight away, one extra floor. I'm not decided on how I'm going to actually do the transitions to the floors. Yeah, especially like this one, I might just put in a, I bet I could get away with maybe doing like a bubble elevator up and down on like these sides, and I can probably get one in them corner and that corner. But yeah, that's what we've got on this side, and then as you can see, you've got the roof in. Glow lichen all around, so it's nice and subtle. And it's also on the roof if we go up and see. So we've got glow lichen all up on here. And anywhere where there's a flat surface, it is glow lichen, so it nicely, subtly lights it all up. But then the one thing that I did with this, and it wasn't something I did on purpose, because of how the stairs are, on each of the sides, I seem to have put numbers in without realising. So, you don't see anything but there's an 8. There's an 8 for some reason. You go around. You could possibly look at that as a bit of a 4. But, with the extras in, it's not as bad. But there's definitely a 2. That's definitely... There's no way I can say that's not a 2. I mean, that's potentially a bit of a 5. Again, that's definitely a 3. Nothing on those ones. But, I don't want this to be known as the number tower, so I might have to change a few of those positionings. But yeah, I think the weathering where this is good right now. I think the next step is to get all the decorations in, get the flooring in, and get the final bits in. Alright, so I'm in a good position with this one. It is a very loud build, but it's kind of by design. But at the outside, we have this. So, I went to the Pale Garden biome. Luckily, because of unused chunks, I do have on about 500 blocks that way. But as you can see, we just go into this bit, you can see it's very loud. So the one thing I wanted with this is I wanted movement. in the build. So when you go in, the first thing is we have this. Problem is, you do get a bit of item duplication. I won't use them, you know, for things. I'll just let them despawn. But, you know, I just wanted a little bit of movement at the beginning. I might find a way to deactivate it, because it is just observers running around. And then, you know, you have things like this with little out there plants, like plants from the nether. You know, we've got, like, bookshelves. All these books are just plain books. You know, if I was to put that there, we'll go to 35. Take that one out, back to 36. These are all just plain books, just for a bit of differentiation. Bit of nether water for the portions there, and everything's by Bubble Vator. So that was the first floor. Second floor, again, so we've got the creeping vines, we've got like the nether vines there, so they can do some studying. We've got glowberries, we've got amethyst, anything that's like all the other kind of mushrooms. Just things that are there for, you know, making it a little bit spooky. And then I did a couple of like little robots, but you know, they are just things to break up sight lines. Again, third floor is where it starts to get a little bit quieter from all that. I did a custom tree, so I got some of the pale garden trees, and for some reason I was like, oh, let's put a tree, so in the middle it's not just glass panes going up. It means that you don't have to put as much in. But then I did some chains across it, so like a chain tree, you know, especially because, you know, it is in the middle of a tower and it's not rooted in, so it does need something to keep it secure. Then that just drops down, and then, you know, we've got the moss carpet from the pale garden again in there, leading to the top floor, which is where the magician does some studying. So again, with the movement theme that I wanted, it was kind of weird to think, how do I get things, because not many blocks move. But one of the good things is the big drip leaf and these new pale oak leaves, they do have like animations under them. So, you know, we've got the dripping down and dripping around. And then every so often you do get, if I can find one, but you do get a leaf, you know, like coming down every so often from these. Like there you go, like little leaves dropping down. So it does give that little bit of extra movement around, so that when you're looking around, and then you've got your standard kind of enchanting station, you got your potion station. One of the good things I like about this one is you can dye water. So it just looks like, you know, you've got your little bits of extra dyes in. This side, you've got a creaking heart, so taking advantage of the new blocks. You know, we could have lit it, but then we'd have to deal with a creaking in here. And then this thing, I tried to make a bit of like a magnifying glass so that you can look into it and see why it does what it does. Why does a creaking come from one of these? You know, so a little bit of like the mystery involved in that. And let's just sneak over here so that we don't set the... Yeah, I'm no good in the deep dark. But yeah, we've got some skulk veins, we've got the catalyst, we've got the shrieker. You know, we've basically got the ancient city, or like deep dark kind of blocks here, so that again he can study them. And then again, with that little bit of movement in the, just adding to this top bit. And then, you know, I was like, secondary thought, one of the main reasons I wanted it is, you know, like something for, you know, like the magical items, like the Totems of Undying. I've got nowhere to put them now. I might put them in that next layer down with the tree. You know, we'll put some buckets or something in there so that we can put them in. But how do you leave? So everything is through this drop chute. Every floor is the same, and you just go on powdered snow, and then that is how you leave the building. And one of the good things as well is when you've done it and you've gone out and you look up, you can still see the particles moving around from it. So I think that's one of the good things. It gives that little bit of extra movement. It makes it look that little bit more enchanted. But I think that'll do it for this episode. I think that's where I am with that one. We've leveled out this section as well at the same time, so we might do something. But this is where we're going to leave it for the next one and figure out what to do then. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.